Logan the Layman Critic here. Today's review is for Lupin III the First. Kind of a strange title, but anyway. It's from 2019 and directed by Takashi Yamazaki. So let's talk movies. A young woman aspiring to be an archaeologist teams up with the thief Lupin III to uncover the secrets of a mysterious diary before a group of Nazi loyalists can. Now, full disclosure here, I have had very little exposure to this franchise. I've never read the Lupin III manga. I've never seen any of the various shows. Besides this movie, the only other thing I've partaken is Castle of Cagliostro, and that's more because of my love for Miyazaki and Streamline Pictures dubs than anything else. So, I am coming at this as a casual viewer. Now, with that out of the way, let me say that I really thought this was a fun film. It's full of exciting action set pieces. You got chases on rooftops, breakouts, fisticuffs, free falls, plane chases, ancient traps. There were plenty of moments in this movie where I found myself asking, okay, how are they getting out of this one? The action and the suspense combined with the mystery solving, it made this feel like an Indiana Jones film. More than the last Indiana Jones film did, to be perfectly honest. And I was thoroughly entertained by it. The plot was intricate, but easy to follow. It never felt convoluted. Because of its similarities to Indiana Jones and other caper films, the story does seem a little too derivative, although I don't necessarily think that in itself is a bad thing. However, there were a few moments where I could see a twist coming from a mile away, and that's my only real serious criticism regarding the plot. When it comes to capers, that's a major no-no. Another minor quibble is that I thought the film kind of wrapped up weird. It should have ended bigger. It should have been more like, and not like, oh. The voice acting, and I'm speaking about the English dub here, was pretty good. It's my understanding that the cast they used is the fan favorite where dubs are concerned. I thought some of the cast were better than others. Tony Oliver's performance seemed a little too big, too cartoony at times. I think what he was doing probably works for Lupin in the more traditional style of animation, but here I think he would have done better to pull back on it some. Lex Lang as Goemon, on the other hand, felt a little too stiff. And I get that the character is more reserved, but I found the delivery to be the weakest in the cast. The strongest voice work, however, I think, belonged to Laurie Himes as Laetitia. Her performance felt very real and very organic to the style. And regarding the style, the animation, Lupin III the First is probably the best computer animation I've seen in a while. And I know people out there will say, oh, well, what about Pixar? Look, Pixar animation is great, but most of their work isn't depicting humans. And when they do, it's heavily stylized, which is fine. The Incredible movies are probably one of the few modern American animated films that I actually really like. But with Lupin III, you have something that kind of straddles the line between realistic and art accurate. The characters look like their anime counterparts, but their expressions seem lifelike. Their eyes seem lifelike, with the occasional exaggeration used for comedic effect. And that perfect balance of real and cartoonish extends into their movement. So much of what makes the action enjoyable in this movie is how fluid and gorgeous it looks while it happens. I mean, I felt like I was watching a live-action film because of how it was executed. It was exciting and it had me on edge. One small nitpick I have with the animation is that the lip flap, it's clearly intended for the Japanese voices, so that can be a bit distracting. You know, with traditional animation, this obviously draws less attention. Again, this is only a nitpick. If you're a fan of Lupin III, you've probably already watched this. If you've never seen any of the Gentleman Thief's exploits, this would be a good place to give it a shot. It's a whole lot of fun, and although I wouldn't say it's a family film necessarily, you could feasibly sit down and enjoy it with your kids. There's one or two bits of cursing and some innuendo, But if you're watching Indiana Jones or the Marvel films with your kids, there's really nothing here that's worse than what you'd find in any of those pictures. So check this film out, tell your friends about it, and until next time, ladies and gentlefellows.